everybody, welcome to Lisa's Art Room. Tonight we're going to be working some more on my Halloween junk journal. Y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. We are currently live on Facebook, if you see the little red button at the top left. If not, you'll catch a replay either here or over on YouTube. I'm going to get you guys pulled up so I can see chat. We have a storm coming in. I'm hoping it mostly misses us. It looks like it's just going to catch us on the edge. Thanks for letting me know the sound is good, Dawn. Get this live to pull up. There it is. Alright, so tonight we're going to do a writing board and then just whatever filler I can after that's done. So we're going to start with that. Let's see, we got a couple people on. Sound is okay. I'll go ahead and pull the camera up top. There. That's all right. I've left the kitty in the room, so hopefully he's not annoying. Right this second he's sleeping. He's much more vocal than Kiba was. He's a very noisy kitty. Alright, so let's go over what I did in this one. I just finished up the stuff that we had done in the main journal. And I did a version in this. It's a little tiny bit different. Let's see where it was. I don't remember. Not that. Was it this? I think it was this. So the one I did in here, which was, I think it was in the which one? So just a little bit different. It's got a different sticker on the bottom. This, I believe, is exactly the same. Maybe the colors are a little different because I had a different color orange. I don't have this in this one. I do, however, have the green spiderweb thing. And that is pretty much the same. The only difference is I was covering up this envelope with this little piece here. Because instead of attaching the envelope over, I attached it to this page in this one. And the difference on that was just, I think it was just that and then the spider web itself. Let me find the other one. Yeah. I did add these little spider webs. They're just a piece of this cupcake wrap cut out and glued on. On this one, it's on this side, but they're pretty much the same otherwise. So that's what we did there. So this one's pretty much done. I can't fit much more in it. So I'm probably going to call this one done. And, you know, maybe just do some little tiny elements or something on the pages just to finish it out. I don't know if I'm going to put lace or anything on the edges of these. I'll have to think about it. I do have green. I have green and white and black. So I could possibly do some lace. I'll have to see if I have enough to make it worthwhile. I will be doing a charm and I will be doing writing boards today. So, and I've already done one writing board, so I'm just going to do one in front of y'all. I don't usually do the writing boards on camera. I've done it a couple of times in the past. I don't usually because, you know, all the gluing and stuff and it's just a lot of drying. So just bear with me. If you don't want to watch it, you can always fast forward through it if you catch the replay. I hear the rain. Hopefully the power will stay on. So the writing board is going to go either in a pocket here or on this edge. So I did one, so I'll show you what it's going to look like, and then we're going to finish it up with the finishes that I put on it. So here's the one I did, and then we're going to make this, but it can go either here or here, either place. Okay, so this one doesn't have a protective coating on it yet, so we'll do that on camera because it's already dry since I did it ahead of time. Is I always wait at least 24 hours before I put like a sealer on it. Alright, so here's what we have. We have our 2 cutout images. These are on cardstock. The typical Michaels cardstock I've been buying. What is it, 65 pound I want to say? Let me see. Tell you in a second. It is, yeah, 65 pound Recollections cardstock paper. So that's what I printed them on. And then I have a, I use these recycled mailers that I get either stencils in or other things. This actually had something else in it. I don't remember what. But I use these and cut them out to fit. Did I cut one already? I think I did. Yeah, I already cut one. So here's one all cut out. And I cut it out typically to about 5 1/4 by 8. This particular image didn't stretch quite right that way. So this one is more like 5, it's about 5 1/4 by, it's like 7 3/4. So it's close. But as long as it's around that size, it's good. So you want some sort of piece of chipboard that you can put this on that's fairly sturdy. I just recycle my mailers because I get plenty of these to recycle, and I just cut it out, and then I just basically use this front piece. And, you know, remove the label as best you can. Sometimes heat will remove them. Sometimes you have to sand them off. It just depends on the label. So, and then you end up with this piece all cut out, and we are going to use matte medium for this. You can use whatever collage medium you like. I prefer the matte medium because it's not sticky. And I don't know, I like the way it holds. I haven't had any issue with it, you know, coming off or anything. So I do like the matte medium. So we're going to do that, and I just want to pull up a surface to do this on. I'm just going to use this lovely bright pink silicone mat. And then I also use a brush. I like these white Taklon brushes. They're just the real inexpensive ones you can get from the. And you can start with either one. Now I do leave a little bit of an edge extra around if I can. Not too much because I want to be able to line it up good, but just a little in case I have to trim it, in case it gets on there slightly crooked or anything. So I always try to leave just a little bit, and not so much that I can't just ink it, make it go away if I didn't need to trim it or something. So that's why you see a little bit of white on these edges. So we're just going to start out by getting our matte medium. And I like to put it on a plate and just dip into it. Typically takes about, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon, teaspoon for each side. Just try to make sure I get little bits of things on this mat because it was sitting on my shelf. Try to make sure your surface is clean. You don't have any like hairs or anything like that. And then you want to just put your matte medium on right up to the edge. Try not to go over. It's not as big a deal on this side when you're doing your first side, but if you go over when you're doing your second side, it will get on your already finished piece on the other side, and you don't really want that if you can avoid it, because sometimes it shows up a little bit, the glue residue. Usually by the time you cover it with the sealer, it goes away, but I try to avoid it as much as I can anyway. Now this dries somewhat fast, so I try to get a decent coat on there first, and then I'll just go back over and add a little more. So right now I'm just trying to get some on all the way up to the edges. It's very important that you get your edges as best as you can, because those are the parts that will want to come up on you. So I try to do a good job of getting that on there, and then I put a fairly decent coat just all over, because you have to work a little bit fast, because like I said, it does dry fast. I don't have the ceiling fan on right now, so it won't be too bad. And then just line it up, and I usually just pick an edge that looks fairly straight and center it on there, and then just work it up. And this gives you just a second to move it. It doesn't give you much time to move it, so try to get it right the first time. And then I'm going to take my rag and just squish out the glue so that it goes all the way to the edge if I can. Okay, and that works pretty well. And like I said, I don't get too much oozing, you know, if I can help it. Second side is a bigger deal. You'll see why in a minute. But so then I just, you know, make sure it looks like it's sealed down there good. If you need to, you can take a little foam folder or something like this and just kind of give it a little smooth down. But then you've got it, you know, real nicely sealed on your edges. Just kind of look around it, make sure there's nothing that's still popping up or looks like it's not sealed down good. And if there is, go ahead and throw a little more glue underneath it. You can just lift it up and use your brush or whatever. But typically it's pretty good. There's a little spot right there. And I just stick my brush in there and try to get a little bit on there. And just squish it down. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then you want to dry that side so that you can trim it. It's important to trim it before you continue to the other side, because if you don't, you won't be able to trim it as well. It's like you need to be able to see that edge to trim it properly. And when you put the other one on there, if this is overlapping as well, you won't be able to see the edge. So go ahead and trim each side. But I do need to dry it first, so I will have to use the blow dryer for that. So let me grab that. I'm actually I might keep that for heat, but I don't want this mat on it. Let me move my brush. It will dry fairly fast. When it starts drying, you'll notice it'll start flattening out. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trim that. I'm going to use a utility knife and this. You could also use a guillotine, it does work, but I like this method. So if it's coming over your cardboard edge, you might want to trim from this side so that you can see where it is better. And if it's not, it doesn't really matter. Just trim it wherever you want. And you don't have to stay exactly the size on the cardboard. So if you need to trim off because it was crooked, like if I want to trim off this white section here, I can do that. Same over here. See, I'm over a little bit, so I'll probably trim that down a little closer. The other one, I think, is pretty much the same. Yeah, I've got them pretty much the same size. So, and I just do that in my photo program. So I'm going to try to make this as straight as I can. I'm going to go with this top edge because that looks pretty straight, and just try to keep it straight on here because it is just a little bit off on that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. It's best if you just go ahead and even everything up before you go to the other side, because then it makes life easier to get the other one on straight. And if you get the other one on a little bit crooked, it's not the end of the world. It's usually fine. Just lining up to my grid. So if you think that you're not going to be able to get it on there straight, just start with a bigger piece. And, you know, once you practice it a little bit, it becomes a lot easier. I feel like when I first started doing it, it was a little harder for me to get it on there straight, but now it's not as bad. So then you'll end up with this. Anything that's left white, I can ink out. I'm not worried about that, but I want to keep it straight as I can. So then I'm going to turn it over, make sure that you are the right way up. Let me put my silicone mat back down. Has a big tear in it. I don't know how I did it. I was too rough cleaning it one day. Okay, so this will go this way. And then this will go this way. And always put the glue on the surface of the board, not on the paper, because the paper will curl too much and you'll never get it to lay down flat. So if that doesn't look like enough glue, you might want to add just a little bit more of your matte medium, but that's probably more than enough. And same thing. So on this side, I try to be a little more careful that I don't go over too much on the glue, because like I said, it will ooze and get on the other side if you touch your mat too much. So I am as careful as I can be, but usually a little bit will get on there, and if it does, it does. I try not to stress about it too much. So my first initial coat, and then just a good layer. If you find that you got a big blob like that, just try to move it over and wipe it off, then it won't get on it as bad. So good amount of glue on here. Already trying to dry on me. All right, I think I got enough. And we'll just line this up. Hopefully I'm still the right way. Should be. I don't think I moved, but you know, sometimes I do. Just try to line this up straight. I think that looks good. And then I just use my rag. And this is just a piece of muslin. I find that the cotton muslin works really well for my glue rag because it doesn't shed like some of my other pieces do. Okay, so make sure that looks good. I'll give it a little bit of a squeeze with this. And just check my edges, make sure everything looks like it's down. You can usually tell if it's not when you do this. then we're going to dry that again so that we can trim it. You see how it warps a lot, but don't freak out because it'll flatten back up. I like putting this board on. Let me grab that again. I try not to put too much heat on my cutting mat because it does warp it. And this gator board is just enough to kind of block the heat. Hey, Kim. Always dry from both sides. It just helps to spread that heat throughout. Almost. Okay. So now we're just going to trim it up. And I'm going to trim from this side because I can see this has a very specific border. I'm going to try to stay within that as much as I can. Got a good, I don't know, a little over 1/16 of an inch there. But I don't want to lose too much of that border. So I'm going to try to do it from this side. Wasn't quite dry. If it's not dry, you'll know because it'll tear more than it cuts. Almost dry. It's not too bad though. So this is hitting the cardboard less on one side than it is on the other, so I'm just going to trim off a little more into the cardboard. Not that much on the bottom. Probably need to sharpen this blade, honestly. I've been using the same one for quite a while. Grab a pair of pliers. Just bear with me. I always secure my blades when I trash them because I don't want anyone getting. And I know it won't last forever this way, but at least it helps a little bit. It's not like I have a sharps box or something to put it in. But that's what I do before I throw it in my trash. That way if I go pushing down my trash or something, I don't cut myself. Alright, so there. So having a sharp blade is important when you're doing something like this because it just helps you to get a better cut. I'm going from this side because I can see where the cardboard is or isn't. Because that one was overlapping a lot more. And if the design's off a little, I don't care. easier. It's not too bad. I don't usually try to pick a design with a border like that too often because it does limit you on trimming. So if you can, pick a border that's, you know, not so important. This one. But these aren't difficult to make, I don't think, and they're very handy to have. All right, so that's good. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this brush cleaned and put away, at least mostly. So for those who watch me, you know my technique for this. And that is to grab a paper towel, and you've got a lot of stuff in there. If I was to just go sticking this in water, all of that excess right there is going to just push into that ferrule. So what I do is I start from underneath the ferrule and I push outward. And what that does is it pulls all of that away from the ferrule. Okay, and I do this before I put it in water and wash it. And then you just rinse it out in your water. And then I'll wash it real good later. But for right now, I'm just rinsing it in a cup of water off to the side there. I think that's 2. Oh, didn't know I grabbed 2. Save that one. Now, I don't put a coat of this on the outside. You can. But I have found that if you put a coat of that on the outside, it will sometimes bubble. So I found that it's just better not to. It's just better to get a good coat down, make sure all of your edges are sealed. If you find an edge is not sealed somewhere, go ahead and throw some art glitter on it or something just to make sure that it's down. But that looks pretty good. And then what I like to do is, so you can see I didn't really get any glue on the front. You can see it if you look at it from an angle. You can usually see if you got any glue residue, but I didn't this time, so that's good. And if you do, it's just a little shiny spot, and usually by the time I cover it with everything else, it goes away. So don't stress about it or try to clean it off too much at that point, because what you'll do, you'll just end up messing up the design. So just leave it if it does happen. Just put this back. This rubber band is only so that I can put this in my can without this being open. It makes it much easier. Alright, so then I like them rounded. I just think they look a little bit better. So I don't have a rounder that will work on this, so I just do it by hand, and I just slightly round them just so it looks neat. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Just get a little bit of a round on there. Okay, so now we have a rounded edge on there, and all of our edges are nicely sealed. Now at this point, I would just let this dry overnight, and then I would have this one. So I'm going to go to this one, move this one aside so it can dry. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and ink up all those edges so that none of this cardboard shows. And you can use archival or the regular distress. The distress will work fine. The microglaze that I'm going to put on here seals it in just fine. So I'm just going to use my distress, and I'll probably just use, what color do I want? It's pretty dark. Let's go with maybe Scorched Timber. Let's go with Scorched Timber on this one. Okay, so just going around and hitting this so that, I'll show you, It just gets rid of that cardboard, so it blends in better. Okay. And you can come up on the edge if you want and do a little bit like that. It's all a matter of, you know, how grungy you want to go and what you want it to look like. I tend to like them a little bit grungy, but this particular journal I haven't gone super grungy in because we kept it a little more on the cute side. And just anywhere I feel like it needs it. Just make sure this doesn't have any white showing. Looks pretty good. Okay, so then we have that. And the next step is to seal it. Now you can seal it with a varnish if you want. I find putting a wet sealer on these, if it's not perfectly sealed to the surface, you will get bubbles. Usually those bubbles will flatten back out once it dries. But over time, I've just found that the method I'm showing you today works best for not having any bubbles or anything like that. And what I'm doing that with is I'm using this Distress Microglaze, which is basically like a petroleum jelly type of stuff. I'm sure it's different somehow. It almost feels like it's like a wax petroleum jelly mix, but it's something to that effect. Microglaze is actually a brand, and Tim Holtz got a license or whatever to use that brand in here, so you can actually buy the original Microglaze if you search for it. But you know, I always buy Tim's. So let's see, and then I use beeswax. So let me find my beeswax thingy. I've just been using, and I've been using this thing for years. It's just one of those thread ones for waxing your thread. And I just pop it out and use it like it is. But just any piece of beeswax is fine, even like a beeswax candle. Doesn't matter. I'm going to put something down so I don't get this all over my surface. Now, technically I'm allergic to this because I'm allergic to petroleum products. So I'm going to throw a glove on. It hasn't been bothering me too much, but petroleum products will make me break out in itchy hives. So. And that's just something that happened because I worked in a field carving EPS foam for many, many years, and I developed a sensitivity to it. So it's kind of a rare one to have in reality. So I'm just using a little cloth. This is just a cotton sheet. I have a couple here. So one of them I use for putting it on with, and one I use for buffing it out. I think it's this one for putting it on. So you just put it in your finger like that. And if you're not sensitive to petroleum, you don't have to wear gloves. It's you know, it's like putting petroleum jelly on you. And you just wipe it on. And it's a little bit shiny, but when you buff it out, it's not that shiny. I love this stuff. It works really well. I've been using it for, gosh, maybe 2 years now. Like I said, I've tried other methods originally, and I just find that this works best. So I just do both sides. You can do one side and let it dry and do the other side, but for today I'm just going to go ahead and do both. It's not that sensitive to where you have to wait for it to soak in or dry that much. You can go ahead and just do it. And just make sure you get the whole thing. And I find it really doesn't take the ink off, which is, you know, it's kind of surprising. Just trying to stick to that. Maybe don't do it on your mat. Pretty surprising that this does not make my inkjet printer bleed onto the fabric. It seems to just seal it right in there, and I don't have any issues with it bleeding or anything. So then once you get it like that, then you're going to just want to buff off all of that excess. So I'll switch to another cloth. This one's mostly dry. I'm not setting it on here because it was sticking. I think I usually do this on my other table that I don't really care about getting it on the surface, but I don't want it on this surface. So see if I can get this not to stick too much. It's just the glaze itself that's sticking. Just keeping it raised a little bit. So just buff it in. Do your edges so you don't have any excess built up on the edge. Okay, make sure this is dry. And then once you get that all buffed in, when it doesn't have that, you know, shiny look anymore, so you can look at it from an angle, see how it's just now it's more like a satin look to it. That's what you want. And then you could let this sit for a couple hours if you want, just to make sure that's kind of sealed in there and cured. For right now, I don't know how important that is, if it's important at all. So we're just going to go for it and go ahead and put this on. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just make sure that everything feels dry. I have some hair on here. Yeah, I'm just going to pull that off now. I need to wash it. All right, I can pull these off. As long as it's not too wet, it doesn't seem to bother me. That's why I quit carving. I was working in the movie business carving props, and I had to stop because my body decided it did not like that anymore. So then I just take this wax and I just rub it on and just get a good coat on there, and then grab me another rag, which I think I had an extra one here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know where it is, so we'll use a little piece of this one. Try to find a clean piece. I usually have another rag, but I don't know where it is. So I already put that on there. So once you get the wax on, then just, you know, wax off. Basically buff it in. And just buff it in real well until the wax, so the wax when you put it on, it's going to look kind of broken up on there. And then when you buff it, it'll spread out and it'll look more even. And that just protects it and gives it a really good water resistant coating. It also feels very nice. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels good. It feels almost velvety. So I'll do the other side. And the Tim Holtz stuff, the microglaze by itself will protect this. The wax for me is more about the feel, honestly. I'm sure it does give an extra coat of protection, but I like the way it feels. It just makes it feel like a more finished product with this on it. And those of you who have received one, you know what I mean. Okay, and just make sure your edges don't have any excess. And that is it. And you have a nicely finished writing board that should last for quite a while. And if you accidentally get water on it, you don't have to freak out. I'll show you how sure I am of that. So if I get water on there, I'll show you what happens. So say you spilt a drink or something on there, That's all that's going to happen. It's going to bead up and just roll off, okay? And then you can just grab yourself a towel or something, wipe it down, and you are all good. Okay, so water's not going to hurt it. I would probably buff it back out after just to kind of make sure the wax is spread out, but other than that, I'm trying to find something to dry this. It is not going to hurt your surface at all. All right, so it holds up pretty good to water. I wouldn't go soaking it in water, but you know, it does hold up pretty well. So there we go. That is our writing board. We got one down. I will coat the other one tomorrow with the coating, and then both of those will be done. Okay, so let's jump on to something else. So that didn't take that long. Now, I got this at Joanne, or not Joann's, Hobby Lobby. You used to get them at Joann's, not anymore. Seems how they're gone. But you can get them at Hobby Lobby. I don't know about Michael's. I don't think I've ever seen one at Michael's. So, maybe not. Okay. So, let's see what else we can do today. Like I said, I just have a little bit of filler work, kind of fill in some pages that still need some stuff. So I'm just going to go through and see what I can do. Like this is very blank. I need something there. I can put some paper clips in here. Now I don't necessarily have to do every page, but try to put a small element at least. It's one of my fancy ones. On most pages. Like I said, you don't have to do every page, but so this one's still got a lot of blank ones in there. Quite a few. A lot more than I thought. Alright. And I probably should do something with that. So there's like at least 6 in there. How's this one? May just put a sticker or something here. Something simple, probably on a corner or something. Same thing there. Don't know that I'll do a huge thing. There. Still a lot, guys. I guess I will use this paper clip. 2. And there's those 2. And this, I still have to figure out what to do with the centers too. So yeah, I've got quite a lot to go in this still. So we're gonna probably call that other one done. Yeah, it's looking like 6 in those. Just something small here. I don't know where my paper clips are. I think they're across the room, so use these big ones. Gotta figure out what to do with the centers. Centers can always be a little bit of a challenge. And you could just leave them plain if you wanted. They don't absolutely have to have something. Maybe somebody wants to buy it and put a photo spread there, you know. You never really know. Which just putting frames for photos might be a good idea. I'll do something small here. Alright, so that's that. So this one has the least. That one's just mostly small things. So I might do frames. I don't know if I have any Halloween frames, but I could make some. like this ended up looking like a frame. Granted, the pattern's probably too busy for the middle. I probably want solid, but that might be a good idea. But if I leave it plain, then whoever buys it can decide what they want. You know, maybe they have a spread in mind to do there. I don't know, you know. What do y'all think? If you got it, would you want me to put something there, or would you want me to leave it blank with maybe just a couple of frames, or, you know, nothing at all? I really need to do, is this the first one I did? This one I think had a bunch of empty pages. Is it this one or the other one? Can never remember. Must have been this one. It had a bunch of those green and orange ones. Yeah, I'll do those first because I had a lot in there. See if I have some pocket type things or something that will match that. Okay, I'm running out of ephemera cards without going into some of my grungier stuff, and I didn't want to buy another digital, so I have to use what I have. All right, let's see. So pages that I just want to add a little touch to, could be a sticker, or it could be a little piece of a stencil, you know, things like that. I have a couple of stencils that I had pulled out here. Let's see if anything would work for something. This little kitty cat would be cute in a corner, I bet. There's a skeleton. I think these are going to be too big. I'm thinking for just a corner or something, I probably want the smaller ones. And then I had another set of stickers. I have a few on here. A few there. What do we got for this green? For this one, I'll probably do some sort of a pocket or something. I could do possibly another belly band. I was gonna do a belly band with a window. Takes a lot of covering. So yeah, so frames like this one, this was I think it's a Tim Holtz frame. I don't know how many of these type of frames I have that look more Halloweenish. I'll have to see if I have enough to do something with. Or like I said, I could possibly just make some. You know, I could use maybe something like this to make frames. Possibly. I don't know. So, what cardstock do we have left? Let's see. So this is the Echo Park stuff. Let's see if there's one that looks like a pocket size. That would fit on there okay. I don't know that I've used that for a pocket yet in here. I try not to repeat too much in individual signatures at least. And then try not to do too much throughout that are a lot alike. I don't feel like I've used that one for a pocket, but let me just see. I might have. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't think I have. Might do that. Colors are good for that, and I don't particularly like that. So. And then maybe some of these will fit in it. If not, I'll find something else. And then we've got things like these. Could be cute for just a bottom edge or something, possibly, or a title type thing. How many of those do I have? Let's see, I got that one. I've got a couple of sticker ones on the bottom edge. This could be a possible tag option. Not sure about that size. That's probably going to be a pocket. Not sure about that. What's on here? Kids. This is the title of the pack, I Love Halloween, but I kept a few of them just because, you know, they could go as a label, basically. Too much Happy Halloween. It's like everything says Happy Halloween. Maybe. And I also have that the vintage ones, the tailor-made journals ones. So I've got a few small ones. Just gonna set those up there. Put these back in their little holder for right this second. Go ahead and put this on this page, I think. I'll keep the tonic side. Yeah. Where's my cutter? Buried it. If I want to go this tall, I'm going to trim it just a little bit. I'm debating on where I want to trim it. I kind of like the spider one there. If it's too tall, then you have to really get a huge tag to fit in there. And this will need cut down, probably just inside those words. Yeah, so it's just gonna fit. So it really needed to be no bigger than 5. Trim off a little teeny bit of this so it's not quite so tall. All right, there's those. I think I want that to go there. Debating if it's okay to have the 2 pockets there or if I should do the other pocket on the other side. So I've got something there. Put one there. I think the 2 will be okay there. All right, do I want to put a notch? Sure, I'm gonna put a notch. So this part is, you know, it's just what I call filler. It's when you're down to that point where, I'm going to totally chop the lid off that bottle. You know, you've just got a few places that need filled in. So that's what I'm going to do. So, we're not inking that, because obviously it's too dark. May or may not put a stencil or something in the back of this. I think I can do it after I glue this on. And I may just put a label up there. This one, I'm going to ink this one. I'll just stick with that vintage. Where is that vintage? Maybe I'll put one of the little vintage pictures in here. I don't know. It's a little busy. So I'll have to see if I have something that will look okay with all this busyness. Okay, that's down good. All right, so let's see. Where are those tailor-made ones? I still have a few transfers floating around too that are good for corners and stuff. I might peek in that little thing. A couple of file folder things that could be embellished. What's that? I'm just peeking through my stuff here, guys. Just bear with me. Also had that. Just running across things as I'm digging, looking for something. Now that I've totally forgot what I was looking for. I know what it was. I just didn't know where I put it. It's the tailor-made ones. Here they are. I found them. Okay. I don't know if I have very many vertical ones left. I've got lots of horizontals. Let's see. So these I may end up just using as a pocket or something. I mean, I can do them horizontally. It's not a big deal. I just don't like to for some reason. I know I've used this several times. I don't think I used this one. I don't remember using that one. If I back that with some black maybe. I'm pretty sure I've used her somewhere. And I know I've used this kitty cat somewhere. I know I've used her. I don't think I used that one. And I'm not sure about that one. So I'm probably just going to kind of flip through and see. Kitty cat. Like I said, I try not to repeat too much. It's a Graphics Fairy kitty cat. And then where's the other signatures? I'll just peek in here real quick. Try not to duplicate too much. It's a Graphics Fairy. No. None in there. Are they all in this one? Wait, there's that one. Don't see that one there. Little boy, that's not there. The girl with the broom, I don't think she's here. I think that's what we used on the writing board. What's inside? Oh, the girl with the pumpkin costume. And a little witchy witch lady. Alright, I don't think I've used those. And there's the kitty cat. I knew I'd use that. Okay. So yeah, I haven't used those. So, do either of these look okay with this? This one, maybe this one. Maybe this one. Thought of pumpkins and kitties. Is that too busy for that or not? I don't think it is, but like I said, all this is, everything's horizontal, which is fine. I can use it for a pocket or something, or a flip out, but I could make a tag out of that, possibly. Have to put something on the back of it. I was going to use it for a pocket. I had a black and white page in the other one, but I think I already covered it with spider webs. In the second journal, let me see. I think I covered it, but it might still need a pocket or something. With this one, I thought about putting this here. Do a little short pocket on there. It's the center page, right? Yeah. So I may do it there. If not, I might do it on maybe if I have a black page left or something. It's, honestly, I don't need any more filler in the other one. It's very full. So I think I'll do those there. What do we have for black pages left? Any? There's one there. Could possibly do it there. Do I have any of the others? Let me double check. Let's see. Orange. 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 And one black. Could put it there too. It's about the same. Either I put it with an orange or I put it with a green. And then the last one, do I have any black in there? Orange. A lot of orange. A lot of orange pages left. All right, so that's really the only spot. This one has this thick pocket on the other side. The only plus to that is it probably is keeping that fairly flat, which is a good thing. So that might work good because it is keeping it nice and flat. So let's make a pocket out of this. I don't know what I'm going to put in it. Something. Just debating how I want the pocket shaped. If I want it straight or not straight. I think I'm going to try to do it a little straighter. I don't need it this tall, obviously, so probably cut it off to about there. Now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna back it with. So this was like a bowl of like a popcorn box, I guess you'd call it. I got it from Dollar Tree. See if I can get this somewhat straight. Let's go about yay tall. Not sure if I'll do anything with that. Sometimes I cut those out. And then we'll cut this off on the edges. Don't want to keep one bat and lose the other bat. Maybe. 5. We'll go 5. I think that'll be all right. Let's see if we can get this to look okay. I'm just going to even it out and see what it looks like. I think it'll be all right. Yeah, that'll be all right. All right, so we'll do that there and then put something on the back of it. And let's see. I'll see if I have like a potion or something. I can maybe make a potion tag out of something, or possibly a stencil. I don't see any potion stencils there. I know I have some, but I don't know where they are. They might be in the bigger ones. Let's see, were there any potion ones? Not really. Okay. How about this grungy piece of file folder? Possibly do like a flip up card with a transfer or something on it and a writing spot. I don't think it'll be too bulky right there. That might be a good idea. And then I gotta figure out what to put here. Something a little more simple, I think. Maybe I have a horizontal vintage one, because this is not so cute, so these vintage ones go along better with them not quite so cute. They do have some, you know, cute ones, but they also have some that are a little more on what I would call the Gothic side. I think this one maybe. Possibly that one. This girl that looks scared to death. Maybe this one or this one. One of those opposite of that. That might be all right. What do you got in here? Most of these are very Gothic, but I know I had a couple of these apothecary cabinets left. This is actually from a Haunted set by, who was that by? It's on the tip of my brain. Is it on here? Junk with Stuff, which was a cute set. I just don't have a lot of it printed right now. Because like I said, I was trying not to go too creepy. But I might use this tag. Could look okay with those. It's not super creepy. It's a, you know, just a little creepy. Some of these were out of a Gothic book I had. All right, I think that's all that I see in there. Little Gothic kitty cat. These labels are also from that Haunted by Junk with Stuff. I think that was too, but I'm not sure. This was from the Gothic book. Darkness. All right. Let's see. Maybe. I was trying not to go too dark. Try not to. Hard for me because half my stuff is definitely on the darker side. And by darker, I just mean like Gothic, you know, dark academia kind of design. A couple of Tim Holtz things. What do y'all think? Anybody here? I don't have hardly anybody tonight. Everybody's gone. Might could use that for a writing. I don't know if I have one colored somewhere. I probably do. Let's see. What do we got? I don't want to use this because I was saving this for something. There's another one of those frames. It's a big one. I think they're going to be too spooky, but I'll set them aside for now. Let's see. Anything in here that's not crazy spooky? That's more like fall. Oh, ow. Most of these are like, you know, these are like, I don't know, plaques from like funerals or something. I don't know. They're what I would consider more dark. Bugs. Paints. I don't know what paints has to do with it, but. Alright, nothing really there. So, most of these are Tim Holtz. Some of them I think got mixed in here, but most of them are. Alright, so none of that. I think I'll probably just go with this potion one. It's from the Hatters back that I bought off of Etsy. I just don't think I have any others printed of it. I might. There were some that weren't quite as gothic-y, but I don't know if I have them printed. I'm trying to look at my stuff and see. What do we got in this one? Some potion bottles, stickers, skulls, some lined paper might work. I have several lined papers in here that would probably be a possibility for the back of that or inside it. Some of those might work. Even some of these. I was going to do a tag with that. That might work for in that pocket if I don't do that tag. Maybe. Not that, not that. Yeah, this is the type of potion I'm talking about. I used them somewhere already. But I know I had others. I just don't know if I have any printed. Don't think I do. Yeah, I don't see any in here. Don't see any. Alright. Let's just go with what we have there. I think I can make that work. So let's go with, like I said, it's got a red border. Will it fit? It will if I get rid of the red border. I'm going to go with this one. Maybe that, or maybe this. One of these. Maybe that. Figure out what I'm going to back it on something. Alright, and then this. Let's see if I can find a. I might go with that because I think it'll match better. It's like, this is black and white, which matches this, but then this folder's got more browns. I think that's going to fit, just barely. could always ink it possibly. All right, these are going to be all out of order. Who knows where they go now? Don't know. All right, we'll start with this one. I'm going to get rid of that white border and then probably just ink it. Because it's not going to fit. I'd like to leave a little border if I can. Just a tiny bit. Does not like this material. It's resume paper. It's kind of, it's like soft, and the blade does not like it for some reason. It always wants to rip instead of cut. Now I've got little pieces in there. Where is that? Get some out of there. Let's see if we can get it to cut. I should have just used scissors, probably. Yeah, I'm just going to use scissors because it's not cooperating. I don't know if it's just, it's like a high cotton weight to this, and it just never wants to cut right. I quit using it. That's why this is something I don't print on very often anymore. So we'll put this on here. I'm going to probably cut that too. So don't think I want the little tabby part. I'm just going to use it like a little fold down journaling spot. Try to keep it right on that line. Even this out. How tall is that? Where'd it go? Upside down. I might put a label on it. Let's see how much is going to hide in there. Maybe I'll put a little word or something at the top. I'm just going to even this up. Cut through both of those. Alright, so there's that. What word can we put up there? I could do wicked or haunted. Any potiony things? No real potiony things there. Anything in here? Probably not. They're not the right shape. What about this? Pick your poison. That'll work. We'll put pick your poison on there. We're going to back that. I'm going to put that there. Alright. That'll work. And then I just need something to line the inside of this. Just to give, so it's just going to be a little writing spot. So maybe one of these. Maybe this one. I think I'll just do a section of this top. Maybe with the bats. Maybe probably get a way of saving that part for later. Maybe right there. Let me just make a mark. I'll just trim it to here. And then somewhere in here. I think I can trim that, maybe. Perhaps. I'm going to save the bottom. I'll use it somewhere. Chalk pencil still. And approximately, I can go a little smaller, so maybe there. And I didn't mark that. I'm going to try to get those two bats on there. So we'll go, where'd that pencil go? I don't know. There it is. Just inside there, just inside there. Lay flat. All right. Just a little writing spot. All right, so we'll glue this. Oh, that's way too wide. All right, maybe I'll use the decal on it. May or may not cut it. We'll try. And I'll glue this to the front. Let me get this out of my way. I could go ahead and glue this down, I guess. Does it need a notch? Sure, why not? Where's my thing? Did I lose it? Oh, here it is. Put a little notch. I don't know if ink will show up on that. I have a feeling it won't. Let's see. It'll show. Brown, but I'd rather have a little bit of brown to kind of pull into the other brown. There. Let's put a little bit there. Okay. And glue this down. We're not going to back it since we're using it as a pocket. It's plenty thick enough. Kind of stiff, so it's going to take a second to grab. Are you going to grab? Okay, let's make sure I can still get that in there. Nope, it didn't grab. It doesn't like this heavier, thicker papers. They always take it a little bit longer to glue down. All right, we'll give that a minute to dry. Just set it up here. Stay. Not gonna stay, are you? Of course not. Why would you stay? All right, this is gonna go here, but not sure how I feel about that edge. I think I'm gonna roughen it up. Where's my little rougher thingy? This little edge distressor thingy. Since it was tearing on me anyway, there were a couple of spots. So I might as well just roughen up the whole thing. down. I want it to open this way, so. This just has the writing of what it was called. It was Cabinet of Curiosities by Dot Witt. And I will put links to any digitals on my YouTube description when I post it over there. So if you're ever looking for links, just jump on the YouTube video, which is still under the same name, Lisa's Art Room. And it's also in my disclosure section. There's a link in there of this Facebook page. So I'm going to add that label at the top. So I'm going to go kind of low. I think it'll fit. Hopefully it'll fit. So we got some potions there. And let's see. We're going to decal this if I can get it to work. It's a little iffy. Sometimes these thinner pages don't really want to decal well. Sometimes they're fine. How much room did I have? More than I think. That one didn't work. Almost. That's what happens when it doesn't work. Just shears it. That's all right. It's grungy. A little bit grungy on this one. All right. Put this on the inside. Just as a little writing spot. And still, you know, I think it still falls into classic okay, because, you know, it's bats and potions, and that's very classic Halloween. All right, let's put this here. I think it'll fit. Ooh, I could have gone smaller. The top and bottom's okay, but the side is still too big. All right. Thought it was small enough. Get under there. Let's try not to cut the bat wing off. Alright, try that again. Alright, now. Yeah, that'll be alright. Glue this because that's going to curl up bad. I think I know where it's going to hit. Okay, yeah. Good enough. All right, bats in there. Where is that sticker? I don't trust these stickers. They're not super sticky. I wouldn't mind like a little touch on the sides. Let's see if I have anything. What do we got? I got some bats. They have white on the edges though. Do I have any without white? I have some rub-ons. Let's see. Where are they hiding? There they are. Let's see if one of these will work. so we don't have that white on the edge. What do we got that we could put there? We got a skull. Too big? Spider web. I like the spider web. There's a potion bottle. I guess a potion bottle fits better. Is there a different potion bottle? There's one with a scorpion, but it seems like it might be too big. Is it too big? I can't tell. Let's see. I feel like it might be too big. Yeah, it's too big. Okay, so not that. Maybe we'll do the spider web. Spider web and maybe a skull. Do this here, the skull here. Let's see, do we want the skull or do we want, what else is there? I might could do just the one potion bottle. I don't think I have anything else. Let me see what's on this one. What's on here? They're all very big. There's a little potion bottle. Not sure if I want the skull. I'd like that potion bottle. Be nice if I had two, but I don't have two. It might be okay with the color. It's like the color is okay with the color of that, but this is black and white. I don't know if that's an issue. Debating. Put this here, put this here. It's not going to look, this white because it's going to be just the outline. So I think it'll be all right. So just barely see all of that. So we're just going to do these. This gives it a little more than just by itself. I don't know where these came from. They're either Dollar Tree or something. Probably Dollar Tree. If I had to guess. I have some of the things are in here that I just don't know which ones they were. I think they were these. I think. Most likely. These are Tim Holtz. These here. There's a mixture in here. I just threw all these rub-ons in the same spot. And now it's a mess. Okay. Good enough for now. Alright, so there's that. Cute. That works. Okay, back down to you. And you're going to go in here. Hopefully this pocket's happy by now. Once it's glued good, I can loosen that pocket up a little bit, but I didn't want to try to loosen it until it was secure. Yeah, that one side is still popping loose, so I'm going to put more glue there. See if I can stretch this out just a little bit, as it was a little too narrow, I think. It's just too tight. Wait, hold that. It's because there's a little bit of a curve here, more than I thought there was. hold. Glue. I know the art glitter will hold it. It just sometimes takes a minute. I didn't give it enough time last time, so I'm not gonna. I just want to make sure it'll fit. It's a little tight. I think it'll be okay. It's a little snug. Make sure this is holding. I could clamp it, but let's try and get away from that. All right, I'm gonna leave that in there so it dries like that. And it seems like it's staying down. Then we want to put this here. We're just going to ink it. It doesn't need backed or anything. I'll grab that scorched timber though. Where is it? Yeah, let's notch it. I was debating if it was going to work on this, but I think it will. Now I gotta decide what color I want to back that with. I think it's probably going to be black, possibly brown, but I think black. Paper clip's grabbing. Time is it? 20 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I've got room. All right, let's back this with something. Put you. Need you out of my way so I can find some paper. So, nope. How about these? Where's that? What's the green look like with the brown? I almost like the brown better. I could maybe a shade darker brown. Maybe. Let's see. What do we got? I know I have dark brown. What about this shade? I think so. I'll go with that. Only other option would be like maybe possibly a dark green. Let's see what the dark green looks like. No, I think I like the brown. We'll go with the brown. Shall I decal it? Sure, why not? Let's see, about first edge, second edge. And that's going to chop that off, so I better do this first. And then leave enough room to decal, probably about there. This first. I'm going to do this because I'm going to lose my mark. It moved. Lift. Just a little bit off this side. And just a little bit off this side. Okay. Let's see. Make sure it'll still fit in my pocket. Yep. Okay. We're good. What time is it? All right. Okay. That's pretty thin. So we are going to use mostly glue stick. Cardboard. Glue stick. Do I want to ink it? I'll ink it just a little bit. It's not showing. This is very thin paper. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely on the thinner side. Okay, it's not great, but it'll do. Put just a tiny bit of our glitter on the edge. Just places I know that tend to not lay down, like the corners and stuff. I didn't want to use all art glitter because it tends to want to warp. Let's see, it looks like about 1/8 of an inch. I think it's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Yep, there. Okay. So make sure that's down. Where's my paperclip thingy? Buried somewhere. Oh, where can I put you? I'll put you over here. Alright, there's that. It's just journaling. You can journal on this with a gel pen. Just try and make sure it's dry. There. Cute. Alright, there's that. How's this holding now? Much better. Okay. Alright, so there's that. And what else do we got? What time is it? 15 minutes. Don't know where that came from. Spot there. Glued several pages. Right. I think here, I don't really want to put another pocket there. Let's just put something small there for decoration mostly. We have that on there. So lots of pockets already. What do we got in here? Anything? Like a kitty cat. We have a kitty cat there. Could possibly just put him there. He'll look cute on the edge of a page somewhere. Did have another potion bottle right there. Oh well. Too late now. These should have been in my other set of rub-ons. Then, you know, I would have found it. They belonged in there. Oh well. I missed it too. These are supposed to be the essential stencil ones, but they kind of got mixed up. Some of them aren't. Yeah, this little guy, he's cute too. This cute little girl. Kitty cat and a broom. I pick one that looks okay with the skeleton opposite. Which one do I want? This one I'll probably put it like at the top somewhere. So, Potion Kitty. This is a skull, scaredy kitty cat, and pumpkin on there. Or I could put one of the kids. This kid. She could be cute there too. She's got more brown. What do you think? She's holding the kitty. We don't want the back though. Take that off. I'm gonna put her there. Just because it's got a little more brown. It's cute. I'm just going to set it on the edge. It's just going to be embellishment for the page, and then you could journal or whatever. Let's see. Tag in there. That might be a problem. Who knew transfers were so handy as just little embellishments for your junk journal? They've really been coming in handy, this one. Let's see. Where's that rag? Found out the rag gets rid of those white marks. Yep, that works very well. Better than my finger for it. Okay. She's cute there. Put my card back in. Oh, we didn't back that. I was going to back that. You know, I'll back these off camera. You don't need to watch me back them. I'm just going to back them with black and put them back in here. I'll do that off camera. You don't need to watch that because that takes up time for no real reason. All right, so we got that, we got that. Let's do something simple here. It's too bumpy for a pocket. How about, we got ghosts on that page. Do we want another ghost or something different? I have more ghosts on the other one. This kitty has like fall leaves and stuff. Has a little bit of green, not a lot. Let's see if I have something better. But out of this bunch, that goes in my other batch too. Oh, there's some ghosts over there. I had that ghost. Should I put him there? Maybe. Little birdie needs a spot where a bird will look good. Where's that sticker thing? You go in there. This ghost maybe, I think. Doesn't have to be a transfer. Like I said, I have so many of them. I'm just trying to use them. Little piggy. No, I don't think I want the piggy. I'm looking through off camera, guys. Browns. Nope, not browns. And I think I like that ghost. I don't really see in my pile of stuff over here anything that matches better. I don't know what's left in this one. I do like this. Ghost or pumpkin? They're both good. This one has more floral and a little more green. Let's see what else is on this page. I like the crow because it fits the corner nicely. Whereas this would go good on an opposite corner. Maybe I'll use this crow there. I know there's not a crow on the other page, but I think it still works. And then maybe I'll put that other pumpkin on a different page that's opposite. It's just adding some decoration. Do I want the butterflies? I'm going to leave the butterflies off. I just don't think they're as Halloween-y. Where did that fall? I dropped something. There it is. It's my little ghost. I don't want to lose him. Get back in this pile. Alright, we'll put him. Let's see, how can I do this? Pull that out. And I'm just going to pull this whole thing out. I need to get my lid back on, guys. Where did my pen go? I'm sure it's dried out already. Here, right? Yeah. Just making sure I'm on the right side. This will be cute here. Love crows. All right, where did my little thingy go? Oh, there it is. Sure, get his little beak. Almost out of time. Let's see. Sticking. Yep. All right, rag. Cute. That's very cute. Very cute. All right, put him back in there. Goes like this. Goes like this. All right. I gotta put that back wherever it went. So I'll back these off camera. And still have to do something with that. looks good. And maybe something there. Probably something simple. All right, that's good. All right, we'll call it quits there. Where were these? Had an envelope for them somewhere. Oh, I think I found it. All right, I'm not sure which essential stencil ones I used today. Let's see, I used Bones to Blossoms. Now, most of these are not available, if any, because the season's over basically as far as selling, and they're gone. They're always gone. And then the other one I used was that little girl. Let's see if I can find her. Where was she? In there? Nope, not there. No? No. I think it's like Cute Moonlight Mischief. Is she in here? I don't see her. Oh, there she is, holding the kitty cat. Moonlight Mischief. And what else did I use? I don't remember. So, I'll figure it out and make sure they're all on there. Not that you'll be able to get them, but you never know. They might bring them back in the future. Sometimes they do. Those are all essential stencil. All right, let's find our signatures. Do a spread of some of what we did. Mess. Got a mess here today. I don't know where that ink thing is. It's floating around here somewhere. Oh, I lost it. I don't know where it is. All right. Sorry, I'm too messy. Okay, do we do anything in here? I'm just going to leave these paper clips because that way I know where things are. Is there anything in this one? I don't even know what we did today, guys. We did the writing board. That was the main thing. All right, I guess I didn't do nothing in there. Anything in here? Y'all probably remember better than me. I always forget what I've been doing. And I have to remind myself. It's like, oh, that's what I did today. Didn't do that. Oh, so nothing. So we just worked in the candy one. All right. Candy one it is. So I probably won't be able to show all of these, but I'll show some. Let's see. I can show that and that. Will it work? Kind of, sort of. I can't show the other one because it's on the same page. So we'll just line those up. And the writing board, which I buried. Or it's in the pocket. It's probably in the pocket. This is one of them. This isn't the one that's coded. This is the one we did today. If you do find, guys, if these are warpy, you're going to be tempted to try to bend it to straighten it. Don't do that. It will definitely crack, and then you'll have a crack across it. So if you're ever making one of these and you do need to straighten it, you can either use your palm and just kind of real gently go like that, or use a bottle and do the same kind of thing. You want a nice smooth movement that doesn't crack the paper, okay? And that'll help you straighten it out. It usually just takes a couple times in each direction. It'll be all straight. This one hasn't been finished, so. But it's okay for showing at the end here. So I'm just going to stick it. I don't guess it matters if we cover any of these. We'll put it there. All right, so there's our spread of what we did today, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back on, I don't know what day it is. It's Wednesday, right? Is it Wednesday or is it Monday? Lord have mercy. Guys, It's really hard some days. Wednesday. All right, it's Wednesday. I will be back on Friday, and we will do some more in here. All right, y'all. I will see you guys next time. All right, bye-bye.